Hi there, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this one is about DIEZEL VH4. Okay, so the song you just heard and saw, I used the 3 overdriven channels on that. So the left guitar was channel 2, the right guitar was channel 3, and the solo was channel 4. So this is a 4-channel amp. Clean, crunch, distortion, mega distortion. So there's lots of stuff you can do with this, which I'm gonna talk. But let's first check out the channels. The clean channel, it's like really good, kinda Fender style, warm, clean sound. And there's a bright switch, you can make it brighter. Now I have EMGs, so EMGs are always with the clean a little bit, but actually, well, let me just show it to you with the passive. It's a really good clean, and when you boost it, you kind of get it to that almost like a plexi territory, but it's, you know, very good clean. Okay, then let's continue with the... Hi, sorry to interrupt, but I forgot to mention the signal chain and, you know, whatnot. So, pedal board, basically SD ISP decimator to get rid of the hiss, KHE amp switcher into the amps, back to KHE, to Sandrocked reactive load IR loader, where I now have Jens Bogren's A Greasy Beard IR. It worked better with the Diezel than my signature IR, which I usually always use, especially when I do these amp comparisons, because then it's, you know, IR speaker has a huge part of the sound, but the A Greasy Beard worked better than my signature with this one. And then into Steinberg audio interface, and I'm monitoring and recording these to Cubase. Alright, let's get back to the business. Overdrive. And, well, let's stay on this clean channel a bit. Each channel has an insert in the back. So each channel has kind of like own effect loop, and then there's one global effect loop which you can set to parallel or series. So what I have there, when I engage this, I have a chorus, MXR analog chorus in there, so check out. So I can always have a chorus on the clean channel. I usually have always, when I play with clean, a little bit of chorus in there. It just makes, I just like how it sounds. So that's very cool. Okay, then channel 2. This is kind of labeled as crunch. It's actually quite close to, let's actually hook this on. It's quite close to like Marshall type of that like upper mid-range, you know, nasty sound. That's what I used on the left speaker. So it sounds like this. And it takes overdrive really well. I actually boosted it with overdrive because I will get into that later why. That's why. It tightens the low end and compresses the sound a bit, because this is the least, the more you go right, the more compression the channels add. So you might ask, well, why don't you just lower the bass? Well, if I lower the bass, it's a different feel. Then I lose the low end, but if I keep the bass quite high, and then add SD, because what I really love about Super Overdrive, it cuts just the deepest lows. Kind of like a, you know, high pass, low cut, high pass filter on, you know, when you're mixing stuff. So there is the low end, but the deepest isn't there. That's why I basically use this all the time, and I barely have any distortion in there. It's just to shape the sound. So this works really well, kind of like, you know, 800, this channel. While we're at it, let's compare it to the bad boy. It's a different sound. This has KT77 power amp tubes, and if I, yeah, it, you know, basic ECC83S. Well, these are labeled 12AX7s. I don't know about the brand, but anyway, so it's in that 800 territory. You know, you back the gain, it's kind of like AC/DC. Really, this is actually my favorite channel. So it's the least compressed, and when you add Super Overdrive, it's just compresses it, you know, nice, fantastically. And there's a bright switch where actually you can make this even more like 800. It has a huge low end because the KT77's 800 is more like, you know, that Marshall sound that actually when I play now, it's actually might sound a bit better, but why I've stuck with 800s during all these years, because they just work in a mix so good. It's just the right, you know, I don't hardly have to do anything with 800. It just sits in a mix, but I mean, this sits too. Different sound, both are really, really good. This is a little bit more modern, more deeper low end, at least where I'm hearing it now. But yeah, great channel. Great channel, different flavor, but in that territory. Okay, then channel 3. So without overdrive first, so this is a bit more compressed. The low end is a little bit like tighter. So it's just more modern. This was on the right speaker, right channel when I double the guitars. There's tons of gain. This actually stays really tight. But again, there's this and if I take that off, it becomes a bit hunky. There's the switch button. But when I do this, and then add overdrive. This is really good for modern, tight stuff. Great vibe, a little bit more compressed. So that's also the reasons I backed the gain so that it doesn't compress too much. And then when I add the SD, it's really like, you know, but this channel it's more like open because it's not so compressed. Let me compare. Yeah, it's kind of, it's, but yeah, I like it too. Okay, then the lead channel, and I have there a delay in the inserts, so this is cool because you can basically have two different rhythm sounds, and you can, you know, boost with the overdrive or not, and one clear, and then lead sound where I, you know, there's the inserts. So I have a Bass DD7, it is, in there. And this is even more compressed and a little bit more mid-range than on the channel 3. And I guess even more gain on tap. So let me take this delay off and let's compare with the SD. You hear it's really like squeezed, but it works great on leads because it's compressed and it's also sustain when it's that heavy than on this one. Great for leads. It works on rhythm also, but it's a little bit too ducked to my taste. But I guess the designer, this was meant to be as a lead channel. And you know, you can add the delay. That was a bit sloppy. Anyway, great. And then what else we have? There's a deep switch, which kind of adds, I think it's around 80 or 90 hertz. So let's use the channel 3 and let me demonstrate. Again, this is, you don't want to add it too much, but again, the sweet spot. You hear when it comes. And then the presence. This is actually also quite nice because you can dial it quite a lot without the sound being harsh. I think it's around probably like 4 or maybe 5 8K, around there, but it's not like, you know, 8 or 10, that really high shelf. But it's just maybe even 3, maybe 4. Now it's 4. Again, sweet spot. But here that it opens. Yeah, so that's Diezel. Oh yeah, the master volume. I had it now really loud. You can play with this on lower volumes. It sounds actually really good, but check out what happens when I turn the master to the 1. So let's start here. It's really tight, yeah, and great sound, but, because, you know, I'm kind of old school, I used to play with old Marshalls, so what I also always want to have that sweet spot where it's just a tiny amount, that power amp distortion, plexi thing. So listen. You know, the amp just like becomes alive. And too much, it's not good, it becomes fuzzy. Now the power tubes are really distorting. And to crunch channel, it's almost like a plexi. Like, it sags really a lot, like, but you know, you get that wind. That thing, but I like to find the sweet spot. It's around 1 when there's just a little bit of that. So, okay, let's just compare really fast. So it's always good to have a reference to another high gain amp, classic 5150. Actually, the channel 2 is probably the closest of that, so... Yeah, and then 5150. They're different, but, and this is like 5 there. I found with these settings the sweet spot. Oh, this is really loud amp. So these are like, I don't know if it's a German thing, but Engel amps too, because this sounds like but this sounds like it's like really like, I don't know, but to my ears, to my feel, when I've done videos, the Engel amps, they have this similar like, which is, it's nice, but this is also nice, that and you know, 800 has even more of that, so let's go Diezel 5150 800. It's totally different, like voicing and stuff, but great amp indeed. So, conclusion. It's almost like 4 amps in one. Kind of Fender style, clean, but you can overdrive a little. Kinda Marshall, well, let's say old school style. Crunch channel 2, but it is, like you heard, voiced differently than you know, older amps like 800 and 5150. This is more modern in general, in my opinion. Channel 4, really tight, modern metal sound, compressed, and you know, Channel 4 even more compressed, a little bit more mids, so great for leads, so it really, the sound comes through to the mix. 4 inserts, so you can have, for example, chorus pedal on the clean channel, always on there. You know, just put this and delay on the lead channel. You don't have to worry. They can, you know, be on top of the amp like I have now. Deep switch boosts, I don't know, 80, 90 hertz. The presence, I guess it's around 4K. You know, that high shelf. Parallel and series effect loops behind there. And then there's this through. So this works in parallel with this. So you can actually put a cable here and put it to another amp. So then you have kind of like you're playing with 2 amps without having any, you worry about any splitter boxes or anything. And the master volume up until 1, it's basically preamp distortion, kind of modern. Then around 2, around 1, it doesn't get any louder. It just adds power amp distortion, kind of what I usually like to have a little bit. It just makes it a little bit more nastier, unpredictable. Hopefully you found this interesting and informative, and if you liked, please thumbs up and subscribe and so on. Until next time, have a great day, whatever you're doing. See ya, bye.